my name is Alice, and welcome to IRG Talk, a podcast powered by IRG Corporation. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It has been a while for me now. I am back. Hello, how are you? This is Alice. So, today's topic is going to be really interesting for me because I have talked about this a little bit more, but today we're going to talk about more in detail. So, we're going to discuss a few steps that you can take to successfully sell your house, and then the process you have to go through while house buying or buying a new house. So, this is going to be entirely for sale by owner or the person who is a seller. You could be a realtor as well, like it's open to you as well, but mostly it's just so we can get along with this. So, first things first, there are many steps that you need to take, that you need to be really careful about this, because selling a house is not just like, oh, okay, I will put the selling sign on the front of my house and the sellers will jump into it and it will be completely easy and absolutely simple. Like, it will take me like 3 weeks or anything like that. No, that is not the case at all. It takes time, it takes effort if you want to go through the usual route, which is actually, putting your house for sale, marketing it for a while, and then having a few interest, like potential buyers, doing some showings, staging the house, and all of that. That is a process that will take you a long time, anywhere from 6 months to a year. Sometimes it might take longer, but those steps are actually really important if you want to sell your house yourself. And this is absolutely mind-blowing for me when I first started, because it was just like, okay, I can do this by myself. When my mom was selling her house, I can do this by myself. I put the house on sale and I will do all the process and stuff like that to do the whole thing. I can do it, it's fine, 100%. No, it takes like a long time. And the first time I did it, it was a for sale by owner, and it took me like about 8 months, and it did not work at all for me. But these steps that I'm going to give you are going to A, shorten your time, and B, make it easier for you. Okay, so it's not just like, okay, I will put my house on sale and everything will go smoothly. This will shorten your time. It will make it easier because you will obviously have to deal with paperwork. Like, there's no escape for paperwork, but you will also have to deal with a lot of things, and this will make the process just smoother for you. It will be easier. You will be more knowledgeable about it, and that will give you a lot of advantages when you go into selling your house. So I hope you are enjoying this podcast so far, and I hope you're excited because it's just going to be so full on detail, and I'm going to give you a few options, just not just like the option of selling your house to an end buyer, but the option to put your house on sale with a realtor, or the option to sell your house to an investor or a cash buyer. Those options are absolutely great if you want to sell your house, because if you want to work with an end buyer, which is something that I think personally will give you the biggest amount of money, is technically the best way to do it, because you will find somebody who is going to directly live in your house. And sometimes detaching from a house can be really sentimental and emotional, and if you sell it to somebody who you don't know what they're gonna do with it, you have no idea what's going to happen. If that has been your house for a long time and you have had memories on it, the end buyer route, it will be always the easiest one, because you're going to be able to see what they can do with it. You will see a family, you will see a person building a whole life around this house, and it's going to be easier on the emotional side. But on the business side of things, it's actually really good too, because an end buyer will most likely find a way to make it to the full price of the house, for the full asking price, which is ultimately what you're exactly looking for whenever you want to sell your house. But there's also another route, like the realtor route, or the real estate agent route, which is actually having help from somebody, finding either an investor, or they will probably have a portfolio of clients or something like that, like a list of clients that they usually work with, and they could have anywhere from cash buyers to investors to and buyers to just regular real estate agents who are looking for properties for their buyers. The only thing with this is that you have to also pay the commission of it, and that might take a little bit more money. Like, sometimes they just from 3% to 6%, and that you have to pay from yourself. Like, if you are the buyer of the seller of the property, you will have to pay your real estate agent for doing the work a commission, which is a 3% to a 6%, and depending on how your house value is, it will be around around $10,000, which quite honestly, I 100% support this. Like, I think they deserve the money they deserve, because they have put their work on it. And I think if you have put your work on something, you definitely deserve to get paid as much as possible, or as much as you deserve to be paid. And it's not an easy task to be a real estate agent, because you have to do so much work, a lot of networking, a lot of working around, and a lot of talking, a lot of negotiating, like a lot of paperwork and stuff like that. And it's a tough job that you have to take care of. And working with a real estate agent, even though you have to pay them a percentage of the commission for the commission of the house, you also have a complete expert on the field who will give you the best advice, and probably will sell the house a little bit higher if they are good at their job. So that route is absolutely amazing too. But there is a different route, which is the cash buyer route, or the investor route, which is basically somebody who wants to buy a property to invest in it, and then obviously do something that will give a profit, whether it's rent it or flip it back to the market, and fix it and flip it, like rehab it or whatever, and then get more money from the house than they initially anticipated, which is a route that it will not give you as much money, but it will be the fastest way, because you can have some cash buyers around and they will give you the full price of a full or fair cash offer. It's not going to be the full price of your house, because do remember that they have to invest on it. So if they have to do any repairs or anything like that, it will have to go from the full amount of money that the maximum allowable money they want to spend on the house entirely, and then from that they get the return of investment, which is how much money they're actually going to get back from the house. So it will not be the full price that you anticipated, but it will take care of a lot of things. Like, it will be super quick, because usually they take like 7 days to close a deal, and they pay all cash. So you will have the money immediately after you did all the things that you were trying to do. And then also you get the easiness of the fact that they're not going to get you through any inspection periods or anything like that. So basically, as soon as they say the contract is going, the contract is going, and like, it's not going to stop, and you're not going to have to wait for them to check the house, because they're not really interested in the condition of the house itself. So if your house is going to have some issues, like the foundation or the walls or the paint or whatever, they're not going to look at that, because they're looking at the possibilities that can be once they have the property fixed, or have the property doing X or Y, and that is the kind of interest that I would have if my house was in a different condition. Like, if my house had any kind of issue, I would go this route rather than the end buyer route, because it is a completely turn off for the potential buyer who is an end buyer, because they want a house they can live in directly after they make the payment. And that's exactly why I think, even though the end buyer is a good option for everyone, it's not necessarily the best option for you right now. So if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to be posting new content every week, and of course this podcast, which you have already been listening to. And if you have, leave it a comment below and let us know what you guys have been liking, if you like the type of content that we're putting up, or if you want us to talk about anything different. We're thinking about doing more marketing related stuff again, but it will depend on how the flow goes again. So in the next segment, as I said, we're going to talk about the first couple of steps that you have to take when you have to sell your house by yourself, which is for sale by owner. And I will see you in the next segment. IRG Corporation is currently hiring. Do you need a job on the real estate market in South Florida? We are the right choice for you. You have been selected to understand and know and take advantage of the real estate market. You can send your info to the link that we're going to be having below, or contact us to 305-985-4535. Start today on your real estate training. So I'm back. Hello. As I said in the last segment, we're going to be talking right now about the steps you can take when you are going to sell your house by yourself. So there are so many things that you have to do before and during and after. So this is just a whole thing. You have to check your finance. You need to do your research. Like, this is the first couple of things you have to do whenever you want to sell your house. Do your own diligence, like do a lot of research, because there are a lot of things that might confuse you a little bit, and that's how the real estate agents might get you if you are working with an end buyer who has a real estate agent. And that's just like, there's so many things you have to prepare for whenever you're trying to do that kind of thing, because it will help you out a lot. Like, I'm not joking, it will help you out so much. and it's just the best way you can do things now. Working as a for sale by owner requires a lot of time. So evaluate your time, evaluate your finances, your budget, how much you exactly want to have, or how much you exactly want to get from the house. Get an appraisal done on it, and collect key documents including your title, your survey, mortgage, and insurance. So if you have any of those, get anything that might get your house in any kind of trouble, or that might be asked for whenever you're trying to sell your house. So get those in order and stuff like that, and then do something that is very important. Think about your time. How much time do you need to be doing this for? How urgently you need to sell your house? Is it because you have a career, or is it because you have a new job, or is it because you have a kid that's starting a new school? How is the time period that you need to be selling your house for? Or is it just because you want to move and you don't really want to be in this house, but you can stay in this house for a little bit more, and then just like move around and stuff like that. So think about all of those things, and then make the decision upon yourself. So do remember that urgency determines the price of the property and how quickly you need to be gone from it. And if you have a mortgage, talk to your lender about it. Talk about the fact that you want to leave. And this is all before you sell the house. Like, you have a lot of things to do before. Like, basically the first step is get your things in order and prepare yourself for what is going to happen. The second step, it would be still before a little bit. It would be just like evaluate your assets, evaluate the appraisal, evaluate if you want to fix the problems, if you have cosmetic problems, or you have upgrades to be done, and then you want to get a return of investment on that if you have the money to do that. Because it's not just, okay, I want to fix the whole house, but do you have the money to do so? And if you do, will you get the return of investment that you expect from it? Do your research around the property, around the area as well. Like, if there are houses that are getting sold by anything or anything else, like, do some comps. And that will help you a lot when you have already done an appraisal, because the appraisal will give you the amount that you should consider to sell your house by, and then you can compare it to what your surroundings have. Like, if your neighbor's house is being sold by anything less than, how much are the house around your house selling for, and that will give you around how much you can actually sell it for, if the house is in top condition, of course. If the house is in top condition, check if you can, fix some issues. You can fix the upgrades and stuff like that if you have the money to do so. That is very important. So next is establish the price. That is coming along with the one before. So research local market, establish a price range about how much is your maximum and how much is your minimum. You can, how little do you want to get and how much do you want to get. Always try to get the much part, but if they want to negotiate with you and you see that it's a good deal, you can negotiate down and have that margin to be a quite big one, so that not exactly like $100,000, but a one that you are comfortable with, that is big enough that you can be comfortable negotiating around. So that is something that you can do. The next one is get ready to sell. This is where the preparation of the house itself will go in. So you declutter, you take everything that needs to be taken away from the house, you clean it as much as possible, and then you stage it so it looks as impersonal as possible. This will give you a lot of good things, like a lot of like good images. You can get clean photos from your house, you can get some clean stuff from your house, and this is all before you start the process of selling the house. So this already is like 2 to 3 months before you start selling. So you declare, you clean, you stage. You can stage the house by yourself. It won't work as well if you hire a stager or a staging person, because they will stage the house as perfectly as possible, so that they have experience and they have knowledge of how much and how little do people like to see in the house, and how well do they have to look. So I will 100% recommend for you to try to stage it yourself, DIY as much as possible, make it as impersonal as possible. But if you see that it's not working for you, then you can, or if you don't know how to do it, then you can ask a person that dedicates themselves to this, and they will stage your house and make it really, really nice. And that it might involve some renovations or like repainting or whatever. That is something that you need to be in the lookout for, because when you try to sell your house by yourself, a stager might be key, and it will be super helpful. Now, this will help you get the photos that you need. So like, if you have photos of the property, you need to make sure that they're clear and they're looking nice. You can also hire a photographer. They are really helpful, and they will give you a lot of like really cute pictures for your house, and it will reduce your time in the market as well as the staging. So then you list and market. So listing the property is really intense. You can list it on the MLS, or you can list it on different sites like Zillow and Trulia and stuff like that. You can do that, and it will help you a lot. But also like do like essentials like yard signs and flyers, and advertise on Craigslist, list on different pages, not just on the typical ones. Like go for another type of page. If you have a page that is dedicated only for what you want to do, then go there. And then you go through the process of negotiating. Now, between marketing your house and negotiating, it can take anywhere from, as I said, like this already are 3 months before, 2 to 3 months before you start. You're started already. Let's say that it will take a month for you to get your first potential buyer. And what if that potential buyer doesn't work out? And then, it's a whole thing, and that can take you up to 6 months, maybe a year. So depending on how you're doing things and how well your house is being marketed as, try to do a lot of research about this, because if you have the best ideas to market your house as, you will have the best results. So once that's done, negotiate and accept an offer. If you have the offer that you're comfortable with, you prepare your documents and your paperwork and start the closing. On the closings, I would absolutely recommend for you to work with a lender, with the lender that you're working beforehand, with the home inspector, with a title company, with there are a lot of things that will go into this. So provide buyer and buyer agents, lawyer, and other professionals the legal documents that you have. Do all the paperwork during this process, and it will be a lot easier. So once that's done, you're good to go. You're ready to move into a new house, and the for sale by owner is completely done. On the next segment, we're going to be talking about a little bit on how to work with a real estate agent, and if it's faster or not with a real estate agent, as well as the other way that is the cash buyer way. So I hope you're enjoying this podcast so far. As I said, give it a thumbs up if you are. And in the next segment, as I said, we're going to talk about that, and also maybe a little bit about how to buy another house once you have sold your own, which is also a great idea. So I will see you in the next one, and I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Have you been denied a traditional bank loan? Do you need a hard money loan to purchase real estate? We are here for you. We offer hard money loans, lines of credit, transactional funded, all of it for your real estate purchase. No upfront cost, free evaluation, closing in 4 days, low interest rate, and approval timeline in 1 day. Call today at 305-680-5950, 305-680-5950, or send all of your information to the link below. And so we're back. Hello, everyone. And I am going to be talking to you through the next step, or the next type of steps that you need to take. And it is around, having a real estate agent by your side, which is actually really helpful whenever you want to sell a house. I would recommend for you to go through that route if you want to sell your house to an end buyer. A real estate agent is somebody who has the expertise to, find whatever you need to be finding or whatever you need to be doing. And they have the expertise around the market. They have the expertise around the paperwork. They have a lot of things that will help you out getting the house sold much faster, much smoother, because they have, as I said, they have the client list. They have the knowledge. They have so much more than whenever you want to sell your house by yourself. The only thing is, of course, you need to be working around, the commission and stuff like that, which I would 100% recommend for you to work around that, because it is not super bad. Like, it is a commission and you have to pay them because they have done the job. So the first step before you start to do anything is find and choose a real estate listing agent. This will help you a lot because they will have complete access to the MLS, and they will have access to a lot of other pages. Like, they have programs to promote the houses. They have mailing list, which is something that a for sale by owner doesn't have, and it would reduce your time in the market a lot, because they have people around that will be like, okay, I want to sell my house, I want you to as my listing agent. They will have the property for sale, and they will market it around with the other people that they know, other listing agents or other investors or other end buyers or people who are realtors or real estate agents as well, who have clients that might be looking for something that you have. So it will be easier for you. So find a good listing agent. This is key because a good one will be the one who sells your house the fastest. Whenever you want to interview with this person, make sure you can get around the negotiating part. Negotiate with them around the commission and see how good they are. And if they are good, you will be convinced to pay them the amount that they were saying. And that is the first thing that you need to be paying attention to. Second, ask them how many properties they have sold in the past month, and then do referrals around that. And if they can provide you the information about those clients they had, you can call them up and be like, okay, this is fine. Or, just talk around with the people around the neighborhood, because it's usually around find somebody who you have known has experience with the neighborhood or the area you want to sell your house at. So that would be absolutely amazing, absolutely important whenever you want to sell your house. Other thing would be, make sure you have good referrals of this person, because that will give you enough information for you to go from and to. The next one is obviously the same one as the one before, is basically find out how much your house worth, make sure your house is clean and stuff like that. With a real estate agent, depending on how fast they move and how many clients they have, if they have clients that are going to go for an buyer type of thing, or they have investors and stuff like that, and especially what you want to do with your house and how much you want to get from your house, they will tell you the steps that you need to follow. They will probably be like, okay, what are the images you have? We can work around with whatever you have. So basically you can do the other steps that you had done as a for sale by owner as well. Like you can take pictures of the house, fix it up, declutter it and stuff like that. The only thing I think is absolutely heavily important is decluttering the house, because the cleaner the house is, the better chance people will see what they have in the house, like the walls and stuff like that. And even if there are some mistakes in the house, they can see them clearly and be more interested because of that or against that, and it will be an easier and smoother. You don't have to go through a lot whenever you do that. So declutter your house, and then the real estate agent will give you the idea of what to do if you want to clean it up, or if you need to take pictures and stuff like that. And all of that will take a little bit of time. Depending on how good your house is, it can take anywhere from a month to, I think, 4 months tops. I don't think they have gone any further than that, and they could get your house to be sold a little bit higher price. So that is absolutely fine, and that's something that you can do a lot. So if you want to sell your house, absolutely I would recommend for you to go with a real estate agent. You still have to go through the same process, but the best part of it all is that they will take care of the paperwork really quickly, and you don't have to really care that much about it afterwards. Like they will take care of the inspection periods. They will take care of a lot of things. The only thing you need to be worrying about is showing the house and being in the house whenever they bring out a new client or a potential client, and you can be hands free for the most part. Now the last way is the cash buyer way. I'm not saying this is the best way, because depending on what you want to do with your house, it might not, but it is a way that you can sell your house really fast. So as I said, the first one was about from 6 months to a year. The second one was from a month to 6 months. And this one can be done in a week. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you find a good cash buyer, you can sell your house within a week. So I'm going to tell you which steps you need to take, so in order for you to sell your house really fast. Basically there are 4 steps that you need to take care of, depending on what cash buyer you're working with, but this is the one that I prefer the most. Is Capital Hedge Partners. We will leave a link below for you guys to check it out. Step 1, tell us about your property. You give quick and easy information regarding it, saying, okay, this property has this, or the property has that, or this property has this and this and this. And the step 2, they will review it and make sure that it meets the buying criteria, and then contact you with a quick appointment. That can be in a day. You send your house today, and the next day you will have the response. And depending on what they see, they can be like, okay, step 3, we'll present you with a fair all cash offer, which is a no obligation offer, and they can back up at any moment, and you can back up at any moment. And then at the 4th step, it's just we close at a local and reputable title company, cash in your hands, and the property off your hands as in a little as 7 days. So basically it all ends in 7 days. They take care of the paperwork, they take care of the commissions, they take care of everything. You don't have to pay any extra commissions. You will get your money in your hands right away, and you don't have to be worrying too much about anything else. Just do whatever you want with the cash. And now this way is easy, as I said, but what do you do after? There are many things you can do after. First of all, buy another house. Like, that's key. Whenever you're wanting to sell a house, also have another agent or do yourself your own due diligence and find what other offers are in the market at the moment. So for us, we have a lot of properties for sale right now, and we might have something that interests you. And we have a lot of properties around. As once again, we are in Miami, in South Florida, so a lot of properties are here, which is something that you need to be caring for whenever you want to buy a house. The process of buying a house is really simple. You basically put the offer, negotiate. You don't have to do any previous things. You just put the offer for the house. You negotiate with the potential seller that you want to buy the house from, and then you just negotiate back and forth, get to a good price point, and then if you want to do inspections in the property, you can put it on the contract and then do the inspection period of a week or 2 weeks, depending on what you want. Get an appraiser. If you are working with a mortgage, get your mortgage. The only thing you have to do if you're working with a mortgage, get your loan pre-approved before you go house hunting. So that is a whole nother thing. But if you just want to buy the house and you have the money in hand, as I said, just go in, make the offer, once again, do the inspection period, and then just start the closing. Like, if the inspection period goes smoothly, you can just close the house as soon as possible, and that will take, I think the closing process doesn't take that long. You will have to see, depending on the city or the county, on the state that you are in. It will depend, I think, from legislation to legislation. So it will depend. Once again, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up once again, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, share it with your friends, and let us know what you want to see in the future. I will see you in the next one.